Hello and warm greetings from SGT University. I am Dr. Ashish Dabas, Department of Orthodontics, Faculty of Dental Sciences. Today, we will be discussing classification of malocclusion part 2.
What is occlusion? When the teeth in the mandibular arch come in contact with those in the maxillary arch in any functional relation are said to be in occlusion, according to Wheelers. Basic concepts to highlight the orthodontic aspects of occlusion: ideal occlusion, physiologic occlusion, balanced occlusion, functional occlusion, therapeutic occlusion, traumatic occlusion, and trauma from occlusion. Now, what is malocclusion? Is a condition in which there is a deflection from the normal relation of the teeth to the other teeth in the same arch and to the teeth in the opposing arch. It is studied in three dimensions: intra-arch, inter-arch, and skeletal. Now we'll come to the Ballard's classification. It was given in 1964. These are the malocclusions caused due to abnormality in maxilla and mandible. The defects can be in size, position, and relationship between the jaws. First is skeletal class 1. The inclination of the teeth is normal and the dental base relationship is also normal. The upward projection of the axis of the lower incisors would pass through the crowns of the upper incisors. Coming to the skeletal class 2, the lower apical base is far too back. The lower incisor axis would pass palatal to the upper incisor crown. Skeletal class 3. The lower apical base is placed relatively too far forward. The projection of the lower incisor axis would pass labial to the upper incisor crowns. Now coming to the Bannett's classification. This classification is based on etiology. Class 1. Abnormal position of one or more teeth due to the local causes. Class 2. Abnormal formation of a part of or whole of either arch due to developmental defects of the bone. Class 3. Abnormal relationship between upper and lower arches and between either arch and facial contour and correlated abnormal formation of either arch. Now coming to Baum's classification of primary teeth. It is classified as straight or flush terminal plane, which will result in class 1 or class 2. When it is mesial step, it will result in class 1 or class 3. When it is distal step, it will conclude in class 2. Now, coming to the Salzmann classification. Salzmann classified it into prenatal, postnatal, and functional categories. In prenatal, it is further divided into genetic and differentiative. In differentiative, we have general, local, and congenital factors. In postnatal, we have developmental and local factors. In developmental, we have general. In general, we have birth injuries, abnormalities of relative growth of the in different body organs, endocrine disturbances, nutritional disturbances, childhood diseases, and radiation. In local, we have abnormalities of the dentofacial complex and abnormalities of the tooth development. In the first category, that is abnormalities of dentofacial complex, we have birth injuries of the head, micro or macrognathia, micro or macroglossia, abnormal frenum attachments, facial hemiatrophy. Now, coming to the next category, that is abnormalities of tooth development. It has delayed or premature eruption of deciduous or premature shedding of deciduous teeth, atopic eruption, impacted teeth, and aplasia of the teeth. In the next category, we have functional. Functional, the first one is general. General has muscular and endocrine disturbances, neurotropic disturbances, nutritional deficiencies, postural defects, and respiratory differences. Local, malfunction of forces exerted by the inclined planes of the cusp of the teeth, loss of forces caused by failure of proximal contact of the teeth. Now coming to the third main category, that is environmental. The first one is general. Disease can affect the dentofacial tissues directly or by affecting other parts of the body. Nutritional disturbances, especially during the tooth formation stage. Metabolic disturbances, trauma, accidental injuries, and radiation. In local causes, we have distributed forces of occlusion, early loss of deciduous teeth, prolonged retention of deciduous teeth, delayed eruption of permanent teeth, loss of permanent teeth, periodontal disease, temporomandibular articulation disturbances, infections of oral cavity, pressure habits, and traumatic injuries including fractures of jaw bones. Now, coming to the Moyer's classification, it is also known as Dockrell classification. It includes categories such as heredity, developmental defects of unknown origin, trauma, physical agents, habits, diseases, and malnutrition. In heredity, we have neuromuscular system, bone, teeth, and soft parts. Second is developmental defects of unknown origin. The third one is trauma, which includes prenatal trauma and postnatal trauma. Physical agents, it includes premature extraction of primary teeth and nature of food. Habits, it includes thumb sucking, tongue thrusting, lip sucking, posture, nail biting, and other habits. Then disease, it includes systemic disease, endocrine disorders, local disease such as nasopharyngeal disease, gingival and periodontal disease, tumors, and caries. Then the last one is malnutrition.
So today we discussed various classifications of malocclusions. In my next lecture, I'll be discussing preventive orthodontics. Keep learning, keep growing. Thank you.